Trump's jurors just dropped. To give the former president a fair trial, jurors were selected after their social medias were investigated.
Oh, I'd be f***ed.
Last week, I called Hillary Clinton a bipedal lizard. And the week before that, I photoshopped George Soros into a reptilian. Fox News said they are glad they can read the jurors' social media because they believe they should be unbiased. Fox News wants them to be unbiased. Fox News banned in-office Taco Tuesdays because of the border crisis. And we have a list of the elected jurors. Welcome to the Trump Madness bracket of who will find him guilty. We have juror number 1. He called himself a repost king.
Holy f***, a Gen Zers in there.
He's the foreman. He considers himself the outdoorsy type, which means he probably eats trails mix, so he's got weak bones and probably not a decision maker. Show me someone calcium deficient and I'll show you an annual REI member.
Just saying, I don't make the rules.
His news preference isn't real. Who the f*** watches Fox News, reads the New York Times, and watches MSNBC? That's like saying you eat healthy by ordering a 10-piece McNugget instead of a 20-piece McNugget. Juror number 2 is a nurse. She's not married, has no children, and her fiance is a tech bro. But they actually found super anti-Trump tweets, so they kicked her out. Juror 3 is an Asian male lawyer from Oregon. I've never met an Asian lawyer, let alone anyone I like from Oregon. He gets his news from the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and Google. These two are going to face off, and I think this is a hard one, but we project Juror 1 definitely wins this round. Dude has the diet of a bird, and he can sustain long hours of boredom. Which takes us to juror number 4. Puerto Rican. I'm a fan of Bad Bunny, so I already like him. He finds Trump fascinating and mysterious and was recently on a jury but doesn't remember what the verdict was.
Holy shit, it's Biden.
Going up against juror number 5, in her 20s, a teacher and not married.
Sounds like most teachers.
She gets her news from TikTok and Charlemagne. She's a liar. No one watches Charlemagne, the short god. Now, I can only see juror 5 moving forward. If I know anything about teachers, they'll do anything to not teach. All right. Juror number 6, who works at Disney, which that's a red flag. You should avoid any Disney adult or anyone with a Disney annual pass. Get a real hobby other than pretending to be a child. She joked around in the courtroom. I'm sure the jokes weren't at all like a cringy theater kid from high school. She now faces juror number 1. That's the outdoorsy foreman, and unfortunately, juror number 1 now misses shitting behind trees and walking with poles despite having legs, and has given up making meaningful decisions to hurry this along. So, unfortunately, Disney adult moves forward, which isn't too surprising. Again, never trust a man that likes trail mix. So if you look at our bracket, that takes us to juror number 7 versus juror number 5. Juror number 7, middle-aged white man, a lawyer, and probably hasn't missed Wordle since it came out. He now faces our TikTok teacher, juror number 5. And rumor has it, I know this rumor because I just made it up, she said he had no riz since they were in there. And that's not in Wordle, so juror number 7 gave up to investigate what that word actually means. This leaves us with the most intense face-off since all those hockey players just started beating the shit out of each other the other week. Juror number 6, Miss Disney Adult, versus juror number 5, the TikTok teacher. This is hard because anyone who works at the happiest place on earth can't really be trusted. No one is always happy at work. It's physically impossible. The teacher might have some historical background unless she's an English teacher and then she can only reference the Odyssey or like Catcher in the Rye. You know, things that aren't very useful. So with our heavy political analysis here at the Semi-Daily Night Show and deep journalistic research, we have projected juror number 5, the teacher, to be the winner and will be the decider in the case. Now this comes with repercussions. We expect a book tour with something titled like The Most Powerful Women in America or something that the New York Times bestseller will cheat their way to the top. The same way Jack Harlow's new song was number 1 despite no one listening to it.
Sorry.
And their school will give her like some award for standing up for democracy and still underpaying her. Now someone go ahead and tag DraftKings so they can let us bet on this shit because that'd be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The Semi-Daily Night Show with Gary TV, your host, Gary.
Tonight's ceremonial first pitch. And please welcome the President of the United States.
We did it, sir.
just making sure you're paying attention.
Welcome to the Semi-Daily Night Show. You ate lead and heavy metals as a kid. A new report has come out showing high levels of lead in Lunchables, which was just basically a trailer park charcuterie board if you think about it, as well as 500 cases of lead poisoning in children from applesauce. Now that's just natural selection. Any kid that I know that grew up eating applesauce now suffers from a gambling addiction.
Changed my mind.
This all comes as the personal poison package of pizza, I like alliteration, was put on U.S. school lunch menus by a government program to bring healthier lunches to school. How the f*** is that healthy? That looks like a World War II ration from the French. Kraft Heinz announced that they got the government contract to put Lunchables on all school menus and said they have to reformulate their products to meet regulation standards. Wait, why were they not already
up to federal regulation standards.
These special Lunchable versions also turn out to be made with equal parts meat and meat alternative.
Oh God, they're putting chemicals in the food, and this feels a lot like...
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The heavy metals and lead limits were 50% or more than what California allows of heavy metals. Remember when you were a kid and the news told you about lead being in Mexican candy? It turns out your recessed cheese and crackers were actually the things full of lead.
I missed out on a lot of good candy.
Extra cheesy pizza was the only one that didn't contain chemicals found in plastic. How the f*** is that little frisbee of marinara sauce the only edible thing they offer? Now you're probably asking, well, how did this happen? Kraft Heinz, the greatest makers of ketchup, also a demon corporation, owns Lunchables, and the USDA loves them. The head of the USDA is the one who sets the standard for school lunches, which is this guy Tom Vilsack, who is also a vile sack of shit. Was appointed by Obama and even defended the use of pink slime and beef, which is all the leftover gross bits. Well, that's a correlation I pray has no relation. Black farmers also hate this guy. I didn't know black farmers existed, but that explains the Beyonce album. He introduced more lax regulation standards on poultry farmers that would cut inspections so bad, the people who do the inspecting said they would be scared to feed their family chicken.
Can you imagine a world without Chick-fil-A? No Chick-fil-A, it kills the economy.
I'd end up like that guy outside of the Trump courthouse.
Oh, too soon. He chose to do it, okay?
Dubai is flooding and it might be from artificial weather. A storm left the airports looking like a body positive model running through a Vegas pool party. G-Wagons floated away like someone getting a DUI in Florida. And Jesus Christ, that's so much lightning, it looks like Megatron's f***ing. See, Dubai's weather is as real as anything on Temu. They also enslave more people than Temu.
You're still going to order from there, aren't ya?
The geoengineered weather seemed to have worked a little too hard, like their workers for FIFA. I'm never going to be allowed in there, and I'm totally okay with that. Dubai introduced cloud seeding. This is when a plane or drone flies into a cloud and sprays salt into the clouds, making the water heavy, causing it to fall. Using a drone is just mean. People in the Middle East have generational PTSD hearing a drone above them.
Now watch this drive.
Dubai denies the storm was caused by their geoengineering. They also deny their involvement in 9/11.
I said it.
Now Dubai has done one good thing over its time, and fake weather is not it. Arresting that streamer Neon was. Other than that, the only people who sell you courses online like it. It's the only place faker than a Kardashian's face. They have fake oceans, fake islands, and fake billionaires. And now they even adopted fake weather. How is that not a sin, but tequila is?
I don't trust anyone that doesn't like tequila.
Turns out that geoengineering weather is not only real, but also dangerous.
Chalk one up to us conspiracy theorists.
So seeing the risks of regions that rely on cloud seeding can have major flooding or extreme weather, it's a good thing we don't have that here in the US, especially, with all the snowstorms we had last year.
Oh, that explains a lot.
NPR, the site that somehow gave us something so good like the Tiny Desk concerts, still sucks so much, is in the news. A senior editor wrote a paper saying that NPR is biased and it leans very liberal. The sky is also blue, like their intern's hair. Now, NPR, National Public Radio, gets 11% of its funding from the government. That's 12% more than it should. He goes on to point that the publicly funded radio has adopted a bias and doesn't objectively report.
Didn't need an essay, we knew that.
NPR freaked out and said they take the trust of society serious. The editor had been at NPR for 25 years and all he got was PTSD and a mug. The essay starts off by him describing who he is to paint a picture. He says he has a tote bag, a lesbian hippie mother, drives a Subaru, and his Spotify says his music is similar to people who live in Berkeley.
I think he's also a lesbian.
Yuri Berliner, that's a real name, was suspended without pay after the essay, but then resigned, and we have his live press conference of his resignation.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, and fuck you, I'm out.
Although, NPR has been making some changes, so they might be turning a new leaf. They hired a tech CEO named Catherine Mayer, so maybe she's going to turn things around and open NPR to more public expression.
The number one challenge here that we see is, of course, the First Amendment in the United States.
Free speech? A challenge? What is this, 75? It's hard to listen to other people's opinion? So you want to shut their voices down?
Okay, but maybe she's unbiased with who she votes for. It's reported she even tweeted that she cried tears of joy when Biden won. If the leader of your company is that mentally unstable,
Get out now.
Now, journalists need to be honest. I did Photoshop a thumbnail to make it look like NPR had a new Ukrainian podcast a couple episodes ago. But as a self-proclaimed journalist, we're allowed 7 lies a month. At least that's what I've noticed from other colleagues.
That was number 8, but it's fine.
Now, they got the former editor suspended on a technicality for speaking on his current publication without approval on another publication, which a news outlet suspending their employee for being a whistleblower.
You're supposed to protect them. That's like your one job.
He pointed out that the newsroom specifically denied researching stories like the president's son's laptop or having Adam Schiff on their outlet 25 times to talk about Russiagate. Adam Schiff reminds me of that South Park character, and once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it.
You're welcome.
The editor points out that the staff became obsessed with DEI, just not the diversity of opinions. It's funny how that works. And lost the pace of what they are, which is sad. By the sound of it, juror number 5 is going to take his place at NPR.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.